how extensive can they be utilized in the game, all while trying to ensure that we're not encouraging people to create multiple accounts so they can actually get the use out of them. Now, and this is one of Danny's big sticking points is, and mine as well. We don't want to force you into creating multiple accounts just so you can enjoy your assets. Like, you should be able to work out of one account and accrue all your value in one account. And whether it's exploitive or not, we don't want you to have to be driven to multi-boxing or multi-accounting. So, um, with all of that said, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that we need to figure out how much utility will exist for all ships, and if we're not able to provide maximum utility for all ships in the deprecation or in this transition to Sage in the future, then we need to keep Faction Fleet online, because at least at a minimum, that is a way that we can generate revenue and income and value for ship holders until we get to the point where they're fully usable in game. Calros, yes, all ships are usable in Rec. The difference is when we get to V0 of Sage, there is a ranking and leveling system that will disallow the use of higher class category ships, larger ships, until you rank up to a sufficient level. And so just because it works in Sage doesn't mean it will work in V0, and so therefore we need to plan for the future.
Cool. One thing that would be cool here is if anyone is in the session that Michael and Dom are in, if they can stream as well, because Dom's stream is full. So just so we know what's going on in the UE5 session you guys are on.
I've been distracted answering questions, so I'm not in a session right now.
Okay. Cool.
What do I look like, man? Armani? I can't play 8 games at once and talk at the same time.
Yeah, man, it's multitasking. It's difficult. Funcracker is asking if when player profiles goes live, if it will be a big event, medium article, people being able to repick their faction, etc., or if we're going to just launch it.
I mean, I don't know that we'll. Certainly, we're going to have a lot of documentation and articles available informing people of its full functionality. I don't know that it's an event that will be celebrated per se. I mean, we see a ton of value in this, not only in how it's used in our ecosystem, but again, its potential for more broad access to the idea of interoperable digital environments, the metaverse. But you know, from a user's perspective of the feature, it's like, okay, well, you guys just figured out how to create accounts. That's been done for the last 30 years or 100 years, you know, like, so there will be a lot of configuration that's possible to you. We'll explain what all of that is and we'll have documentation, but I don't know that it's event worthy per se.
Cool.
Yeah, I have a question. It was somewhere up here. How long until we have a game server, and is it possible we see some sort of gunplay in the showroom soon, like the sneak peek shared a while back? This might be a Danny question, but I'll ask it anyway.
Well, more of a Danny question. I think I saw Brad join. But I can speak to the server side of things. But I don't actually want to share any details on when that's coming just yet. But you guys have heard me in interviews talk about the team that we're working with for this authoritative server support. That's the backend server architecture that allows us to have hosted dedicated instances. So we are working on that right now, and it's looking quite good. Brad, did you want to comment on either the server architecture or on the gunplay?
All right, Brad, you're into the fire right now.
That's being
Man, you
put on the
shouldn't have,
spot right
you
there.
shouldn't have left that mic open, man. I saw your face. That'll teach you.
Yeah, how do I? You guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as gunplay, again, I'm not authorized to talk about timeline.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's not imminent. I will say that.
Okay. Yeah. Probably something we've
Um,
pushed
4
out.
to 6.
yeah,
I can jump in and save you there, and just mention, like, guys, we are heavily focused on this racing gameplay modality right now. So getting the authoritative server, getting the competitive combat racing, getting progression and things like ship configuration as soon as possible. So it feels like you're really being rewarded and earning, not just in the form of Atlas and resources, but you're building your account and you're the earliest and first adopters of the game, and you're going to have the level advantage and benefit of being the earliest adopters. So we are focused heavily on this multiplayer gameplay loop right now of racing, and yeah, otherwise we have some other exciting stuff in the pipeline.
we sure do.
But really, Brad, when gunplay?
Yo, what sniper? Actually, when can I have a sniper? And he goes. He leaves. It's
He goes
fine.
4 to 6 to you.
uh,
Yeah, we are working on some cool, fun game modes, but we're focusing on adding more ship game modes before we start adding gunplay stuff. So
I love that insight. Thank you, Brad. Santi, do you have the next one, or you want me to read one?
You have one? Read it, bro.
Okay, where was it? I just had it. Sorry, give me just 2 seconds. I literally just had it, but I accidentally pressed jump to present.
Who's gonna die?
Oh, here's one. This is another one that I'm not sure if Swag is gonna be able to answer or if Brad is gonna be able to answer, but I'll ask it anyway just in case. What release is the first opportunity for us to level up something? Ships, modules, crew.
That is probably going to be the 2.2 release.
That's exciting. I can't wait.
I see another one. Will Rec have the 3 zones?
It will have the 3 zones, but there's no combat. So that's what I was describing earlier. Is you're able to go navigate your ship into any opposing faction zone. You can even mine those zones, but what you won't be able to do is attach your fleet to a star base, which is where you can undertake any crafting operations. So if you go to an opposing faction and you harvest resources, you will have to take them back into your faction to refine and craft.
Cool. I have a question on the DAO, and this is from Support Line. My question concerning the DAO in Pip 1 is how malleable will it be before sending it to voting? I got the community really talking about the council and that process, and curious if that will be addressed and if we can have a strong say in how we want it to work, since we've been discussing the process in which we would like and feel familiar with, since it was player discussed and criticized to an extent already. That was a long question.
So how malleable, as in before something goes to official vote? Am I getting that right?
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
seeing if
basically, basically if it's getting addressed, even whether in Pip 1 or Pip 2 or something like that, like, are you just, like, saying, like, this is how it's gonna be and it's, like, minor tweaks and then it's being sent? Or is, like, here's our idea, you can just completely change it and then we'll, like, push it out to being voted?
Oh, yeah, yes. Totally. For Pip 1, this is just our proposal to the community on how we think it could operate. So if we have a strong position about any component of that, we'll explain and justify that position. But this is completely open for debate. We're not saying this is how it is and just accept it. We're saying this is what we think it should be. This is why. If you have ideas on how to improve it, we are totally. That's what this whole next phase of the process is about. Is opening the forum for discussion. And that'll be true for all pips. Is there's intended to be a period of debate and discussion, and sorry, I gotta kill this guy. But a forum for debate and discussion before it passes on to the next phase of ratification and implementation.
Okay, I have a question here that is getting a lot of this reactions right now. If ships run out of fuel, do we need a refuel specific ship to save it? This might be a Danny question, but yeah, we'll see.
Well, all ships are aggregated in a fleet when you can construct those in Sage. So they essentially all share resources. So you would not, at least in Sage, as it's designed right now, you would not need to refill an individual ship.
Another question here. Are there any plans for mobile gameplay of any kind? Sage, for example. Will Sage be a mobile game?
I think it's viable that Sage becomes mobile friendly. You all have heard me talk about the mobile companion app before. We are going to be officially debuting what that mobile companion app is at the PlayGG event. I can tell you it's not a mobile iteration of any of our existing environments. What I think is very promising, by the way, on the mobile front is the idea of the remote rendering, so GPU farms, being able to stream this data to your mobile device. So if any of you have ever played Stadia, with Stadia, you would know what I'm kind of the type of system that I'm referring to. But I think Unreal Engine gameplay on a mobile device is certainly feasible. I think that's coming sooner than later. Working with a company like Render would probably help deliver that exact functionality. The thing that we have to resolve specifically for our game and for Web3 is how do we ensure that user accounts, i.e. Crypto wallets, are secure without sharing or passing a seed phrase to a remote server in any way. That's been a topic of discussion. I think our team's making some progress on that, but I don't know exactly where we're at. But yeah, I mean, Sage being a browser game, I think totally reasonable to see that as a mobile app, and the Unreal Engine product using some GPU streaming service to mobile device, I think that's possible. But otherwise, our mobile app is companion. It ties into assets within the ecosystem, but I'm going to save any additional detail on that one until PlayGG.
People are asking if the cat is okay, so I...
Yeah, she hasn't said anything yet, has she?
yeah. Tigu's okay.
Michael, is it true that if you run out of fuel midway across the galaxy, you die and lose all your inventory, since we are in the medium risk zone?
Yes, it all goes back to the house.
See?
No, it's not
I
true.
told you guys.
It's not true. There will be you'll be able to hail a ship to come and bring you fuel. We expect that to be a service. I'm really trying to kill this Chi. I don't know if anybody's watching right now, but
I'm watching. I was about to comment that you were doing quite well with the multitasking.
amount of ammunition here though.
Did you get the Chi? Did it explode?
I got the Chi, yeah.
Nice.
Evasive maneuvers.
There's talent here, guys.
Do a barrel roll.
Wonderful.
Where's the fuel
Well,
gonna come from?
people will produce it. They'll craft it.
So do they sell it to the DAO, and then the DAO puts it on this rescue ship, and then the rescue ship goes out to save people?
No, you'll need to hail real players to deliver fuel to you. You'll be able to put up a beacon, a rescue beacon, and people will need to come and bring that to you.
That's that's amazing. That's really great clarification.
Well, there's a question for Jose here, since Jose is here. Can we get Jose to turn the lore wiki into a narrated audiobook?
That sounds cool.
Jose, just a
Yeah.
extra small thing to your plate, bro.
Yeah, man. I think I have almost nothing to do in the company right now. I'll start this project.
Besides Dom, I think you're like the, you have the least to do.
Ah, here we
Yeah.
go, dude.
Oh my god.
I'm just kidding. I just want to commend Dom, Jose, and Santi. These guys are absolutely busting their ass every day. Doing a really great job working with you guys in the community, in and out, but also advocating on your behalf all the time. We have a lot of discussions about the interests of the community, and I have to say they're always looking out for you guys. I share their sentiment most of the time. I'm looking out for you too, but I have a slightly different perspective than them sometimes. But nevertheless, they're doing a really great job. So really appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
Oh
same
man,
goes
you're gonna make me cry.
to Darwin as well.
And Darwin, yes, yeah.
Yeah. You're trying to make this an emotional brew again, man.
Man, you want me to cry again or what, man?
I try, man. I try.
uh,
Cool.
I see a question here. Unless you want to read it, Santi, you got it? Or
The one that has 3 discs.
yeah, go for
I
it.
want to
Yeah,
read that
do
one.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Swagner, what is the thing that you are the most excited for this year?
Um, it's really hard to say. I mean, we have so much that's already making such great progress. I mean, honestly, escape velocity was that's not what I'm most excited about, but I just want to comment that I think escape velocity was a pretty incredible hit. It exceeded our expectations, and so I think with that as a building block and engagement point and way for us to build velocity and momentum, it was fantastic. But I would also note that the I don't know if the whole team shares this sentiment, but I think with the kind of conversion or transition of the strategy into things that we know, like escape velocity, that they're not a full game. They could be a lot better. It's not our final vision, but it's something that we want to get into your hands to at least play test. It gives us an opportunity to collect information, but it also gives you something to use and something to do and something to talk about. I think it's seeing the success of that, and the metrics that we're looking at and being able to share that with the team. I think it's actually a really great driver of internal morale because the whole team knows like how good the stuff that we're building is, especially compared to something like escape velocity. And they're like, man, if escape velocity had the impact that it did, just wait until they see what comes next. And so everybody's highly motivated and like just really pushing super hard. But for me, I don't know. I mean, there's 3 things. We've got the DAO coming with our proposal first, but ultimately that gets into community generated proposals. So to me, that's extremely exciting. It's a step towards decentralization, allowing your voice to be formally heard, and being able to utilize the mechanism that we've proposed and talked about since the beginning, which is community governance, to effectuate this change. I'm like super excited about that. I also think and Santi, I don't know, or Dom, or Arthur, I don't know what your guys' opinion of this is, but I mean, there's a lot of kind of questions, or go so far as to say demands from the community in Discord, and this is a way for us to be like, look, if it's something you feel very strongly about, get a proposal out, right? There is a process for how these types of questions get addressed, and it's not so we can just shirk those off and not answer them. Of course, we'll still be providing that Discord support, but if it's something that people are very passionate about, they have an opportunity to present that formally, and it can actually be implemented for change. So I think that's powerful. I think what we're doing in Sage is going to be a ton of fun by the end of the year. But overall, we are building a game here, multiple games at the end of the day. I'm a big, MMO fan. I've been playing MMOs for like 30 years, probably 25 years, and getting the progression system in place with the competitive combat racing, where you can feel the real tangible value of progressing your account along and having those bragging rights of being a certain level, being able to upgrade your ship and your components and customize things, and also being a racing game fan. I'm really excited for R2.2. I think that's probably top of my list, but we're just doing so much. It's like really hard to pick and choose like what's the best, but yeah, 2.2 is probably my pick.
Yeah, man, that's when we will know who the real pilot is. Super excited
Me.
for that one as well. And just to add to what you were saying, Michael, I think it's important to note that all the releases this year have been going towards more power to the user and just giving that to the community. Like you were talking about the DAO and how a forum like Discord and being able to vote on things that the community feels are important just actually helps boost that on like the power that the user has, and formalize more ways of the community being able to give feedback directly to the team, because that would be a perfect place for the team to know how important it is something for the community, right? Since people will be able to upvote, downvote, or just comment on the proposals, and it's just everything is shaping for that, and every release we do, every iteration we release is a step forward on that long-term vision on absolute power to the people, basically. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and I mean, just to elaborate on that slightly, like it is going.
Pog.
Hey, how's it going, Ryan?
I just got home from work.
Nice. I just did one of the public games.